Hey everyone, budget, who's got the budget? Welcome to the married life of Rich and Kevin. I'm Kevin.
I'm Rich.
And this is the second part in our video series on household finances. And so we're going to be letting you know how we handle income and expenses. We already told you all in the previous video that we reached the decision before getting married that we were going to, as well as we could, live primarily on half of our income for our everyday monthly expenses. So let's see, when we moved in together, because we had been seeing each other and we were a couple for at or around 2 years, and we had already had the chance to find out that we were on the same page financially. We wanted to figure out a way that sharing expenses would be equitable, and especially since Rich and I have very different occupations and therefore very different incomes, and also he's paying child support. So what we opted to do is and we're both salaried, so we have basically the same pay every single pay cycle. And so what we did was we added both of our net pays per paycheck together, and then took an average. We took a percentage of our monthly income, what percent of it came from my net pay, and then what percent came from his net pay. So we had different percentages, but added together came up to 100. So we took all of our monthly expenses that we shared, and we each contributed the percentage that was calculated. So like for housing, even though the dollar amount is different, the percentage of net income is the same. And so for us, that's equitable because the same percentages of our net income is going towards shared expenses, and even though the dollar value is different. Because the other thing is, neither of us wanted to try to profit off of the other. And it'd be one thing if we were just roommates or something like that, and hey, rent or mortgage is $1,200 a month, and your half is $600 and my half is $600, so we're not roommates, we're a couple. And that worked out really well. The other thing that we did was every month we do up a budget. Oh, let me back up a second. The other thing that we did, because we knew that we were going to get married, we just did not have a date picked yet. We wanted to establish that we were domestic partners. So we opened up both a joint checking and savings account to pay bills and common expenses out of, and do common charitable giving out of. So we all made sure that all of our accounts were transferred to the same credit union so that everything was under one umbrella. And then every time the monthly bills came due, Rich would calculate, we do it together, Rich would calculate all the amounts that we needed to pay and take the allocation and say, okay, Kevin, your amount this month is this, my amount this much is this, and then we would each transfer that amount out of our individual accounts into the joint, and then we had the bill pay set up out of the joint account. And so that was how we went ahead and established that we're living as domestic partners. And even though we've been married for a couple of years now, we still largely use that setup, mainly because all of everything's already linked, and all the direct deposits are into various accounts, and we're slowly in the process of integrating everything.
But it works for us. So So that's the easy thing. I mean, to just go ahead and close the account, that means you got to get a hold of all the other things that are already taken direct deposit out and everything. And it's just a hassle. It's easy this way. It all depends. Everybody's going to be different in how they handle that. But also, it's kind of neat because, yes, we have our joint account with our joint savings in there. But Kevin has his account with his money. I have my account with my money. I mean, we, not that we blow through our money anyways, but, you know, I have so much money in my personal account that if I want to go buy a pair of shoes, you know, whatever, or, you know, do something, it's there. It's my money.
Yep. And he doesn't have to answer for it.
And so, but if I, for some reason, fall short this month, I know I have money in our joint account. Now I do, and this is something that is very, you just have to do, is you have to talk about it. You know, I don't just take, you know, $500 out of our joint account without discussing that with Kevin and what is going on, what happened, what's going on, things like that. And the same thing with him. He just doesn't take money out of our joint account without discussing it with me, because it's not his money and it's not just my money, it's our money. And so we have to be on the same board and same page of what we're doing with that.
And that brings us to, excuse me, to using a budget. And unfortunately for a lot of us, the word budget or the term living on a budget has a lot of negative connotations. It's seen as, by a lot of us, as a straitjacket, meaning that, oh wow, I'm on a budget, therefore I can't go over X amount of dollars. That's not what it's for. A budget is to plan our spending every month. And what we do, because 90% of the time we've got the same recurring expenses every single month. But the purpose of the budget is to, we start off with what our realistically estimated income is for the month combined, and then we go through what we believe our expenses to be, and that lets us know roughly how much we can expect to have at the end of the month to put in emergency fund or savings or something else. And it's really helpful because some months are more expensive than others. And especially when we moved into this house, we had a lot of one-time purchases that hit all at once. We had new washer and dryer, we had new mattress and book springs, we had some new lawn care equipment that was needed. We had some landscaping that we did, and let alone the moving expenses. So we knew in advance that we were going to incur those. And so with a budget, it enabled us to figure out roughly, okay, this month we're going to be in the hole, so we're going to need to pull, you know, $6,000 out of savings because of these items here. And then, you know, this was last April, and you know, we've since
2 Aprils ago.
2 Aprils ago, 2 Aprils ago, and we've since been, put that money back. But the budget just helps us to avoid any financial surprises as much as possible. And so it's simple. All we did was on the internet, Google search, typed in free household budget in Excel, and it came up with several templates. So if a budget is something that any of you think you would like to start using, there are free templates, or you can design your own in Excel. They don't have to be elaborate. And but it's just really a helpful tool to kind of let us know what we can realistically expect financially to have happen. And again, it's not meant to be a straitjacket. It's not meant to forbid anything. We, like for example, we don't go out to eat very much, and since COVID, we haven't gone out to movies very often, but yet we would allocate, $100 a month for eating out and movies. And there were several months, particularly for the bulk of 2020, where we continued to allocate that in the budget, but we did not incur the expense. So, just because you have a planned expense, just because we have a planned expense in our budget does not mean that it's actually going to be incurred. But it is a way that's just helpful to keep us on track, and also to plan for expensive months, because there's the holiday months. We have family members, several whose birthdays all fall in the same month. We have a couple of months during the year where various types of insurance is renewed, and so we want to make sure that we've allocated for all of that, so that we just don't end up feeling cranky with, crap, we thought we were going to be able to put aside X number of dollars this month, and we weren't able to.
But let me,
Yeah.
but be honest with the budget.
Oh yeah, it's got to
That's
be
the thing
realistic.
is,
Be realistic.
Something we had to really think about is all the money that comes out. We go to the tanning bed. You can't tell, huh? But we go to the tanning bed. That's every month. We go to a gym. That's every month. We go even fine tune. If you hit a Starbucks twice a day, you need to budget that. That's costly over a month time.
Right.
And what you're doing is you're getting everything together.
Yeah.
And then you realize some things, like I said, I used to be a person, I love to go out to eat. He loves to cook. So I don't need to go out to eat. He's an awesome cook. So that is something that we do once, maybe twice a month.
Yeah.
Go out to eat. But I don't need to. I have a chef. So there's things that once you lay down that budget, you think, oh gosh, and this is stuff that we did. It's not a straitjacket, but we realize we don't need this.
Right.
We don't need this, but we want to start doing this.
Yeah.
And so, we might have thrown a couple things out the window, but we end up sometimes adding things because we wanted to start doing other things every single month.
Right.
So, but you got to be true to it. You can't say, you have a budget, but you're not going to listen to it. There's no reason to even set one up.
Yeah, if we were just going to blow through everything anyway, and have the attitude of, hey, as long as we got the cash to pay for it, who cares? The budget is part of our overall household financial plan, and one of the ways that helps us measure our progress towards our various financial goals. And we will get into that in future videos. But it's a helpful tool, and so it's something that we utilize every month. And let's see, what else? I think we hit all of the main points with income and expenses. I know, like he mentioned, there's a tremendous psychological boost of having your own personal money, and whether you do anything with it or not. And we all have heard stories about, and we work on this together, and now that we're married, he's the primary beneficiary of everything I have, and vice versa.
Right.
And so, if he's ever curious about, oh my gosh, I wonder, Kevin just got paid, I wonder how much he's got in his account now. He can log in at any time and see what my balances are,
And that's the thing
and vice
is,
versa. So
there's-
it's all ours, even though we still have.
Right. Yeah. He can see my bank accounts. He can see my retirement. He can see everything, and I can see his. There's no reason to hide. Anything. That's how we feel, at least.
Right.
But also it does feel good to be, at least me, and I don't know why, but I like to keep my bank account, my personal bank account, at a certain dollar amount. I feel weird when it gets too low. So anyways, this is just how we do it.
Yeah. And we also, even though we discuss major purchases with
Definitely.
each other, and you know,
Yeah, did you
Like-
tell them
like-
about the car?
oh no, which incident?
Where we were walking down the path and it said, "Oh, my car's about ready to be paid off. It's time to get a new
Oh
one."
yeah.
This is early on when
funny
we-
story. This is when we first started seeing each other, and so this would have been what, going on 6 years ago.
Probably, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, about that.
so a while back, and this was early.
I mean, we weren't married. We're just
just
early
had
on in
started,
dating.
yeah. And so anyway, Rich was talking about how at that time he only had about what, a year
yeah.
or so left until his vehicle was paid off, and he goes, I said, you know, that's great. And he goes, yeah, and as soon as it's paid off, it'll be time to turn around and get another one. And I'm like, hold it. No. Whoa, what?
But see, that's how I have always done it. I mean, you pay it off and you get
Another
new
one?
car. I mean, it's already, it's a piece of junk. It's 5 years old or
Yeah.
4 years old. It's on its last leg. But it's not. I
No.
mean, we've been together 6 years. We still have the car.
Right.
I mean, it's running perfectly
Yeah.
good. It's probably going to, hopefully,
And
we do have wood here.
yeah.
It's going to last, hopefully, as long as we keep it up in maintenance
Mm-hmm.
and everything, it's going to last still for several years.
Right.
But I was in that mindset that
That's what you did.
that's what you do. You always have a car payment, always have a car payment.
Mm-hmm.
But we haven't had a car payment for years and
Yeah,
years.
so that was something I asked him about. Why does this make sense to you? And I go, you're just now getting rid of a recurring monthly expense of several $100s. What do you gain by perpetuating it
Right.
with another vehicle? And he just kind of stopped, and you know, and we talked, you know, again about if the car is running good and it looks good and it's in
Yeah.
great condition and it's not expensive to own after you pay it off, then what's
Yeah.
the rush? And
So now I've learned to keep it till it dies. I mean, you keep it up, you keep
Yeah.
it looking good, and you keep it running well.
Yep.
And it's,
so anyway, that's what really first sparked.
it's a red flag big time.
Yeah, it was like, okay,
Saw
there's no
you
future
saw the
here.
blood drain out of his face. He turned ghostly white, and just like, what's going on with you?
Yeah.
Oh no,
Yeah.
we can't have that. But the thing is, that money you're saving every month, you've got to do something with it. Put it in a savings.
Right.
So when you're ready, when I'm ready to buy a car, guess what? I can probably go pay cash on it and get it all paid off at one time, and I still won't have a car payment. Okay, hopefully.
It's all of that helping to, keep expenses from staying at the level of.
Okay, we got to be
income.
cutting off really soon.
Oh,
We're at
okay.
18 mark. We told you guys we wouldn't take it over 20, but this is how we're doing it. We still got several episodes probably of this to do, but unless you think differently, I don't.
No, we've got at least 3 more right now that we know we're going to do after this, and again, just to kind of help tie everything all together and talk about how we're doing things, and again, part of it is we're both established career-wise, and we're both in our 50s, so this is a whole different ball of wax than, again, being in our 20s and as a couple and just starting out and still having 40, 50 years realistically in front of us in order to do all of these financial goals. And, the great thing is the earlier you start, the longer period you have to bring them about. And, but especially with getting married and incorporating everything, it's an ongoing discussion of measuring our progress and talking about it, and it's pleasant, it's fun to do.
Yeah, it is.
Because you get a real charge out of it, because on on a regular basis, we're seeing, you know, hitting all of our various benchmarks and all of this.
Right.
So, but anyway, we're at the 20-minute.
Oh, no.
And yeah, so that's it for now. So again, everybody, please subscribe. Please drop your comments. And
we've been having really, really good comments.
oh yeah, and
Awesome.
also, everyone, thank you for the congratulations on the new job. I've seen so many comments with your congratulations and well wishes on that. Thank you so much. I really, really do appreciate it. It's absolutely wonderful. So thank you. I just finished my second week. It's all been primarily orientation and onboarding. This week, I should be starting on some projects. So maybe in the next video or the one after that, I can give a little more detail about what it is I'm actually doing and why it's cool and all that good stuff.
But also, we've been getting some congratulations that you're getting old. I mean, a happy birthday.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. All right. Well, thank you for viewing, and
Yeah.
like I said, like he said, subscribe, and we will hopefully in the next couple of days see you again.
All right. Everybody take care.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.